everyone, and welcome to your Enchanted FairyLand Vortex. And the hostess with the mostest, Goddess T-Boogie, or Mama T. Girl, so this is so funny because I'm talking to Osa and Terian. I'm like, who?
What's it?
Yo, once I have a nickname that's like in there, like I don't know nothing. I'm like, who? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm like, girl, over these parts, it's either Mama T or T Boogie. Like I don't know who that is. And then
I
like
have. Mhm.
Sha in our vortex, Shamira is her whole name. And so like her and Indigo, are cool. So she said Shamira one time. I was like, who?
No matter.
Know who that is.
Mhm.
Right, y'all. I'm so glad people don't take me personally because
No, we
it just is what it is. Even with myself. Okay, so this is true even with myself because I myself to myself is AP. So when people call me April to I'll pause for a minute and be like,
feels
oh,
weird.
me.
It feels weird. Yeah, I feel that way about Terry sometimes.
Oh.
When people take liberties to shorten my name.
Oh.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh. That's interesting to me because my mama used to be in love with somebody named Terry. And I remember
I'm just like, you're talking to somebody else.
my aunt used to tell me I didn't even know what this meant when I was a little girl. She used to be like, girl, because Terry's supposed to be your daddy. And I used to be like, what? I didn't understand until I got older.
Wait, wait, wait. Oh, okay.
That my mama was so in love with him, that should have been my dad, not my dad.
Mhm.
Which now, who the fuck knows? Maybe. I don't know.
It doesn't really work like that.
But I also, girl, speaking of this one time, okay, y'all, I'm going off on a tangent, I know, but this was so petty, it was funny, right? So my cousin, and this all from my sperm donor side. So I met her, we're grown, and like we get a kick out of each other because we both short, we cute. So anyway, I'm at her birthday party, and one of the women at the birthday party used to mess with my sperm donor. So we sitting there, we all kikiing and everything, and I'm not privy to this information. I don't know these people. She's like, I should have been your mama, right? Bitch, what?
Kind of weird, but okay.
And this I was like younger then, but I wanted to punch her in her throat. Like, and I just had to giggle. I just had to giggle. Like, bitch, like, like, first of all, my daddy was a hoe. He was a hoe. He was a hoe for sure. Okay. And you should have been my mama.
Hmm.
No, thank you.
Wow.
I did not choose you
How are you supposed to respond to something like that anyway?
by punching her in her throat.
Oh, naturally, there's no other way.
But we respect our elders. And I at that point I was, transitioning out of my egomaniac asshole stage. And
Mhm.
so maybe old April would have probably poured a drink in her face. You know what I'm saying? Because you older, so I don't want to hit you.
Yeah, that's obligatory, at
But
least.
it was just like, do you feel like that's disrespectful? I mean, back then, now I would totally like now the person I am now, like, oh, I would have totally giggled. I would have totally just died laughing. You know what I mean? But back
Mhm.
then it was like, like my hand got ready. It was just a reflex, like
Mhm.
you know. Oh, my hand was like thing, from the Addams family. Like it was about to do its own thing.
Mhm.
They so disrespectful.
It would take on a mind of its own.
Anyway, while we talk about mamas, y'all, this is a show about mamas.
I was wondering where the segue was coming.
Gemini, I can always bring it back. I can bring it back. I can bring it back.
Okay, it's all kinds of different mommies.
Even the ones that feel like they should be yours. Oh, let me light an incense. I need to calm down. I don't know why I was feeling so spicy.
Hmm. So I was talking about this river we have in Detroit that separates the mainland from this island that we call Belle Isle, the beautiful
Mm-hmm.
island.
Mm-hmm.
And that river used to be Queen Mother Ocean Daughter,
Mm.
Nefertiti used to refer to that river as River Mommy. And when she would expound more on it, she talked about Mommy Water. And I every time I see that name or think of it, I hear it in her voice, River Mommy, Mommy Water. And I love how she used to pop her T's, Water, Mommy Water. So um, we're actually in the space, the last space where she was before she transitioned unexpectedly. So super super wonderful mama and an introduction that I'm still grateful for. It was one of the first sets of goddesses, I guess, or deities that I got to know about before I learned about the netters and the netrix and the orisha and the loa. It was the river mommy, Mommy Watson. So
Mhm.
we've been talking about that group
Yeah.
of people, beings. I was wondering, how do you feel that a group like is water itself the well water itself is like the overarching everything. It's what everything is made of.
Yeah.
So what is the water's relationship to that group of what are they, deities?
Yeah. We would call them deities.
Hmm.
But don't listen to us because we're kind of bougie about that. Like, if it's not the fundamentals of creation, like, boop, boop, leave a message.
Hmm.
And only because this, right? I need to make this very clear that this is not no disrespect. Um, but we want to make this very clear is that every culture has different names. What we want y'all to start identifying with, and this is why they don't allow me to, unless I have a message for someone specific, it will show up for me. Um, these deities and their names, it'll show up for me just so I can deliver a message, right? But the reason we're not on this type of time is because we really want people to start thinking. We want you to start using your imagination and putting things together cohesively. These are all the same characters. There's only a certain amount of characters in this game. The importance is for us to recognize the energy. Like
Mhm.
for us, Lilith, Kalima, uh Medusa. Uh what's the name? I don't want to be. Is it Orisha? Is that the one that Beyonce is accused of she's fertility uh
Yema, Yemaya or see
yeah, so
children.
like all
Oh,
these Oshun, like all these energies, are the energies of what we call the dark mothers. And so for us, Lilith is that representation. But
okay.
through in many different spaces, many different regions, many different languages, unfortunately, we keep breaking everything off. you know what I mean? And separating. So there's
Would
going to
need to
be
be more
different.
universal.
Yeah. And so we're just keeping it universal in that fact. And so I just really want people to understand that I'm merely just providing a template. And
Mm-hmm.
so you call it what you want,
Call it you.
but these are still the fundamentals. You are still going to get the template of the fundamentals of creation. Okay. And we would like to give a special shout out to Miss T-Boogie for introducing us to our next fundamental, which is death. Okay. And that shit was so much fun. Like to have, I've had some very magical, life changing experiences with some of these aspects coming out or fundamentals coming out. And that was one of them. That was so much fun. That was so much fun. And to step into your inner world just a time was so fucking entertaining. Like popcorn and the hot sauce. Y'all know I like a little bit of hot sauce. Tabasco sauce. That's my shit right there. You know what I'm saying? Was eating it all. I was like, yo, this is an all day like comedy session. Like, I mean, to you, it might not be, because you used to it all day. For me, like, I am used to it, but it still cracks me the fuck up. The shit that goes on in my head. You know what I mean? But like your higher self, as he calls himself, is like the stand-up comedian of that. This ninja got jokes for millennia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sarcastic and charismatic all at the same time. Funny, blunt. And I've never let me think about that. Not okay. So my own aspects have done shit to my vessel, and I'd be like, this is so weird, but I've never channeled someone else's aspect for translation purpose. If you know, you know. Some of this doesn't make sense to certain people. But anyway, I've never channeled someone else's aspect and them actually physically like affect my vessel in that way. Like he literally tried to kick me out when I said guilt. And I just went ahead and channeled it because it was just easier to say child. And then the taste,
That wasn't the word, but I'm not going to say what the word was.
right? Starts
Thorns.
with a G. Yeah. We supplemented with pineapples, but you said you wanted to come up with something else.
Yeah, I like pineapples. So
Oh well,
thorns.
I'm in my human state. I
I
can
like
say
a
it.
crown of thorns because even thorns serve a purpose, but
Oh,
a crown of thorns, that's just for supper.
crown of thorns. I can say it
Mm.
though. Grief.
You got to talk about it eventually.
So now something got like caught in the back of my throat. He's like, you play too much, but like I've never been channeling for somebody else. And like it just totally affected my vessel. Like I could literally, it felt like the coals in the chart, that you barbecue with, like that they were being crumbled in my mouth and like I had to chew them. Like, oh, I was like, like cold charcoal. Like, oh, it was crazy work.
Mm. Hard to
Like
talk like
the vibration of that word, he really does not like. He does not like the vibratory frequency.
fair.
So
Oh,
we're
I've been seeing hawks. Oh, a big group of hawks is called a kettle.
a kettle.
Mm-hmm. And it's unusual to see a lot of hawks in one space, even more than one. It's like, what are y'all doing? Because they're scavengers. They're here to pick up dead things. So why are there so many? So I was driving down the street, Livernois, and I saw all these hawks coming together. And then I made a turn and they followed, they were going right, they were like right above my head. And I was like, are we really about to ride down the same street? Then I stopped at a stoplight and they just started circling. And there was so many of them. And I was like, are you making a vortex? Is there a portal over my head? So they just kept on circling. Light turned green. I continued. And then they went straight. And then they went ahead and went west. And I was like, okay, who was that? What was that
That
about?
was him and that was you. How fucking magical is your reality? Okay, because this is funny as fuck. So this was last week. I'm outside playing with the tobacco. And my daughter
Mhm.
comes out there. She's like, I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. And then she's like, big bird, mom. So I look up and it's a hawk, right? And it's funny that you say that because literally just the other day, I was giving gratitude to tobacco. And,
Mm.
I'm so weird just talking to the tobacco as I'm talking on the phone. um, and it was like three big ass hawks just and I was like, what is that about? And then right behind them, three more, and they're like right next to you. I was like, what is going on? And I didn't get an answer back. Like usually when I ask a question, I get an answer back. I didn't get an answer back. So you know me when I don't get an answer back, I was like, there's a much more magical time where the answer will come.
See you later.
And so that time is now. That is so cool.
Okay, three and then three. So three is like a number of community. Three and three, that's feminine. Six, what else is six?
Family,
Then
nurture. What are
mm,
the three stages that they talk about the maiden before you get to the matriarch? It's like the maiden, the something, and then matriarch, or something before the maiden. I don't remember. But those
is there
three
a clown
stages,
in there?
there's 3, 6, 9. I'm new to all this information. It just popped in my head.
Hmm.
Uh, and then three is also completion. Also, I'm a number three. Three is all there's like four different placements inside of my numerological chart of three. Um, but completion, the joy bringer, the trifecta,
Mhm.
which Death told
Right.
us about, right? Death at the top, and then we got magic and the underworld.
Okay. Is anybody else seeing hawks? I wonder.
Yes, is anybody else seeing Hawks? We want to know. All right, so
Hmm.
um, okay, Death, you're so cool. We talked about you, all right? And while you were talking at the beginning, he made sure that we brought him up, okay? Because he's a celebrity. He wants it right now. He's a celebrity, and it's time to start talking about him a lot more, okay? Okay. Mm, so I did the dirty work. All right. Um, so Mommy Watson, let's talk about it. Also, as you were talking, what was coming in was just the respect, right? Because we come from water. Let's just look at it from the viewpoint of our human self. And let's just say that what we walk through every day is we're going to say we're like land beings, right? So we didn't start off as land beings. We started off as water beings. This was all water. Okay. And so she would be one of the originals, as far as that dark mother energy, right? Water. And so many of your now religious stories that you read about are based upon this particular character. Okay. We just wanted to start out with that. And so now let's bring in water. He's such an asshole. Girl, tell Death to come back over there and play with you and quit playing with me. I ain't got time for him. Okay. Okay. We're watering. We're gonna come and we're gonna play with you. We're gonna have so much fun. But first, the mighty ones would like to come out and play, okay? This is so weird, right? Because I feel the matriarch coming in, but I also feel come up and here is the underworld. So much energy. I never had the three of them water the matriarch and the underworld at the same damn time. This is a lot. Oh, this is a lot. I feel so much pressure right here and like in my nose, like at the top of my nose, all the way to the top of my head. And especially like right here, it feels like a big ball of pressure is sitting right here. We are the matriarch, the mighty ones, and we are here. Questions.
So
Questions.
we were talking about the subject of the deities that we create and the information that we pass down through oral tradition, giving them all these different identities. What role do those, if any, what roles do those identities play in the way that we express ourselves through culture? And is there value in that, or in terms of our lineage?
There is extreme value because these are all explanations of your inner world. And when you get to know your inner world, you understand your outer world. That nothing is coincidence, nothing happens on accident. And to see, to visualize your outer world is a projection. It is the story of your insides, what is going on in your inner universe. You make yourselves very small. You are the gods, the supreme beings of your inner universes. And so the stories being told are what is going on inside of you. We will repeat this. The stories being told are the stories or the being that is you, the beings that reside within you. This is important because this plays a major role in the game that you are playing when you understand yourselves. These characters are the energies that make you up because you have experienced these experiences an infinite amount of time, an infinite amount of spaces. It is important that you collect the data. You have broken yourself down into many, 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 many fractal pieces that make up a whole. And the objective of this game is to understand the fractal pieces, the patterns that they create, to understand the whole of who you are, who it is that you be. Remember that you are source itself, having an experience, understanding its selves. In order to understand itself, source projects itself out to observe itself. And so you are playing these games over and over again to remember, to assist source with remembering or seeing who it is. You play the remember game. Source is strictly collecting data in order to see itself, to know what it is on a much more profound level of knowing than you can ever fathom or think about. What you consider human and source are completely different in the explanation or translation. That source itself is purely the greatest and most magnificent data stream that could ever be imagined. It does not have any personal feelings. It does not have feelings. It is just a stream of awareness. You could call it the conglomerate of all consciousnesses everywhere streaming to one point. That would be source. And source is merely here. It is this simple and complicated all at the same time. Source is merely projecting itself out to infinite spaces to experience itself, to know itself. Again, we have repeated this vessel would keep the faith that you understand. She works very hard to affect and infect the minds of as many as possible. We will only participate at a minute level of this understanding for everyone. We would like to transmit this signal the way we would like to transmit this signal. As we are ancient elders, we are her ancestry. We are the ancestral part of what you are calling the fundamentals of creation.
Am I still with the mighty ones?
Yes.
Okay. So our responsibility as one single fractal piece is to collect data, and we can within our own lineage and our own bloodline, like that's the area where we one of the areas where we collect information, like
Yes.
our own roots, so to speak, through
Yes.
our ancestors. Okay.
And because you have such a good time playing as individuals, as fractal pieces, the stories is how you communicate one with each other. Differences, as we have said, source is having many different experiences to see itself. So it would only make sense as this is happening on a macro and micro level. It would only make sense that as individuals, you would play that out in this reality. And so you will have what you are calling different cultures. You will be in what you are calling different regions, and you will tell different stories so that everyone as a collective can see their God self, their different fractal pieces, one as different and one in the same. As different is the same, it is on the same frequency. You see things in duality and polarity. Once you start to collect enough data, you will understand, overstand that these are the same frequency that make the whole. They are the same. Right now,
And
this
we
is
have
very hard for most humans. If we were to tell you that love and hate was the same frequency, you would hate to hear that. You would deem something wrong with this vessel, but it is on the same frequency. That's why you have the saying that it is a thin line between love and hate. A lot of the times, the very thing that you love is what you end up hating.
we're exploring contrast, like two sides of the same coin. Can we know is there is there information that's hidden? Okay, how do we access information in our lineage that appears to be hidden or lost?
You merely raise your vibration. It is only hidden to you because you are vibrating too low to observe.
So I have been wanting to find out things that I shouldn't know about my family and bloodline. For example, we have this grandmother. We have a whole story about our nameless grandmother. And so there is a way for me to actually know her name.
Yes, you are death, you are the underworld, and you are magic. This accumulation of the three major hierarchies that live inside of your vessel is the key. You will unlock this. You know this.
And for a person who's not an ancestor, if I'm trying to find family members, is it the same thing? Family members who are in this realm?
Everything that has so called transition still lives in this space. Everything that has ever played this game still lives, resides in this space. There is an echo, or what many of you will call an essence, that stays here. An energy imprint with that particular being's signature stays here. It will always be here, even if you are that same energy imprint that has come in, projecting itself into this simulation, into this game, into another vessel. That still, that particular energy imprint, that signature still exists. And that is what you are calling an ancestor. It is still you. And so, yes, you have the ability to tap into all, to remember all. It is simply the rise of your vibration. Many of you are not a vibrational match for what it is that you are seeking to know. And it is the most simplest for many of you that you are not a vibrational match simply because you do not have the belief that you have this particular gift, trait, or tool that throws you off of the vibration.
So the people that we refer to as ancestors are just us.
Exactly. But to keep it in translation for you and the viewpoint that you are operating or seeing out of now, yes, you can say that these are those that have lived in the past when actually they are currently living now as you. You are the same character recycled over and over and over again. This is where the idea of recycling indeed comes from. You're the same characters recycled over again and again through eons of what you are calling time and space.
So there are no separate lifetimes either.
No,
Is
it is
there
all
any
happening at once, pure chaos.
is there any utility in what people call, which I don't, I don't even like to say it. Ancestor veneration is giving energy, I supposedly to spirits who are separate from us. It's also mistakenly called ancestor worship, where beings are required of us so that they can do things for us. But what's actually happening in those cases?
It depends on the person's belief system. In many cases, you need a median. You need something that you can physically do, or you think that you are physically doing here in this reality to raise your vibration. And for Minty, this is that act to raise your vibration, to give completely, to surrender completely, to love completely the other version of yourself. To worship yourself is to raise your vibration so that you can, with your illusion, manifest whatever it is that you are desiring. The thought that it is something outside of you is your particular median, your viewpoint, your vantage point, the exercise that you do to have an experience of raising your vibration, to manifest what you desire, to project out into this physical reality.
So we're just going the long way around.
Yes, this is why now you are being taught the shortcut, which is to turn in. You would have much faster results, which you are considering faster results, should you put your own picture up and worship self.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. I made what I think would have been
And
called a
for many, the spaces that you are considering inactive, this will assist you in activating.
in spaces that are considered inactive.
Yes. So for you wanting to activate your mediumship, talking to ancestors that have transitioned, this will assist you in that. Worshiping, simply worshiping the totality of who you be, the fact that you are having an experience, a human experience as source, as a fractal piece of source. You are having a human experience. And so there is an exchange in this data stream as you give and you receive. You give and you give the data to source that you are collecting as you are expressing yourself as source. And source is the same streamline mainline to source. You will get what you are calling abilities activated, tools coming online.
Gratitude. Mhm. Okay. Thank you. I believe water was also coming forth.
We are Rolanda, and we are coming forth now. We are the underworld. We are simply here to remind you, as this vessel has reminded you and many, that the underworld is your birthing place, where all experiences originated, where everything and nothing comes from in this animated light realm that you are calling your physical reality. This is where all of her stories begin.
Everything is being projected from the under.
Yes, you can say this. Yes.
When souls come into this realm, at least I'm told that it takes 40 days before their body is flooded, the baby is flooded with DMT, and that's said to be their consciousness coming in. Is that a projection from the underworld? Is it the same with all souls?
What is taking place is this time, of course, varies. It varies on the mission or theme or focus of the vessel that is being cultivated in the womb. And so the truth of the matter is that those that have come to reach certain levels of enlightenment, certain levels of awareness, will have DMT formulated as they are formulated the minute that the egg meets the sperm. The travels will start instantly as they will project themselves into the belly, the womb of their so called mother in the ship, in the data suit. They will project themselves in what you are calling the DMT is merely, you could call it the vehicle, the gas that assists you with traveling throughout every dimension, every plane of thought, every construct. This is your ability to travel.
Again, EMC. Okay. Um, so there has been a theory that there's no reason why once we're born and go into maturity that we don't just keep on living. Like there's nothing physically that should stop us from staying in this realm. So what is it that has to occur, that has to be created within the underworld to make it possible for this to be temporary physically?
An agreement. It is simply the evolution of your consciousness. This is simply what your consciousness prefers. This particular consciousness that you are a part of desires not to, at these times, have long, extended lifespans from your perspective. This is just simply the game that you are playing. But the capabilities of those that are playing the game, there is a small percentage, less than 1% of you that have this consciousness that's never died. And this is
Are this
projected from the underworld. And this is simply because you have what is called overseers. You have the game pieces or the characters in this game that are, we will help her translate, that are, I don't know what this is. So the best way I could describe it is like when there's movies and you know how like say there's like a secret artifact, like say this artifact is life, and in this box it's life. And so the artifact is is chopped up into different spaces, and then in the movie the superheroes, because Earth is about to end, they travel to all these different places in the earth where this artifact has been chopped up, and they get all the pieces and bring it back together so that the earth is not destroyed. It's like you have these anomalies that are like maybe like a backup plan or something, you know. And so these are the immortals. These are beings that um assist with balance, so to speak, like the
you think about the
emergency.
Tesseract from I forget what movie, or Bassette putting all the pieces of Asar back together and then finding the phallus and then he was resurrected?
Yeah, it's like that. But they're using the word anomalies. That's what she wanted me to say. Anomalies. And so like they'll activate or get activated if the vibration goes too far. Like if we vibrate, because as I've said before, if you vibrate too low, the pulse, imagine vibration as pulse. And so if the pulse slows down so much, you don't exist. If the pulse is too fast, too high, your frequency can be so high that you also don't exist. Your
Yes.
frequency is too high. So nothing can observe you, focus you because your frequency is too high. So then you don't exist. So there are these two anomalies on both end of the spectrum that if we go too far left or too far right, they're activated. So that's what these groups of immortals were originally put here for. And there are ancient ones that come back to remind them of this because they're still having a human experience, right?
Even the
And
one who
so,
are living these long lives.
yeah, so it's like things will happen. Like for instance, we've had a reset that was done by others. There are machines that alter the simulation. Like this is literally a simulation. So there are machines that are used to make it appear to be certain timelines. And so in that, there'll be ones that will wake up and be like, 2012. What? Like, no, this is not 2012. Like this is really 2024. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's because they're remembering. But as the days go on, you'll surely fit into 2024. Like you'll forget about 2012. There'll be memories, but it'll just be like, kind of like how you view your childhood memories to be now. And so we've had these alterations go on. And so as these beings are mortals, they are affected by these technologies also.
Are there still people being born now who are going to also be immortal, or are they already here?
Yes, this is a continuous thing.
Okay.
Remember that there is no time.
Right.
And so it's like popping in and out of any era you want to and playing that role of the anomaly.
I'm gonna ask. I think that would be a Rolanda question. The illustrations from that Darius J. Wright has. We talk about him sometimes. How accurate is that for what's being projected, and like where does the underworld fit into that, or where does that fit into the that explanation?
Yes, from your viewpoint, every time you transition, you are instantly zapped into the underworld. This is why this is our most popular explanation for who we be, the space that we are, because most see us in this way when you transition or when you are near transition. Many of you transition out and you decide to come back here because you have many attachments in this focus. And so it is our job, our operating system chooses a parallel reality, what you are calling parallel reality, most similar to the one that you just left. And we project you back there. And so, yes, these would be accurate. Um, but to most who have the gift of seeing reality closer to what it looks like, it will not look like this. This is human eyes that see it in this way. For the puddles of waters or the bodies of waters that you see are what you would call holes. These would be different portals or holes for you to jump in or out to go to different spaces that are within this light construct.
Mhm. In my childhood, I have seen many representations in content that's made for children, we can use for content then, of the underworld in games and movies. There was a movie, Beetlejuice, I think it was maybe Comic Book 2. They talked about the underworld, Mario Brothers, all these different portals and the mushrooms, um, more representation. So it seems like it's the underworld is really heavy in things that are made for children. Is that so that we can have a better grip on reality as we're coming up?
Yes, this is where you began. The human mind is a lot more flexible in younger age.
I really appreciate that. And I guess we projected it like that on purpose.
Of course.
Clearly, that is awesome. So it's like when we talk about going back to our exploring and communicating with our inner child, that's where a lot of wisdom is going to come
Yes, your underworld. It is a beautiful space. When you take out all of your concepts, when you stop thinking of underwater, when you stop thinking of location and thinking of it as a mechanism, as a system, then you will understand. So, of course, the children are more familiar, their imaginations are more open, and they have just come from here.
They just came from it. Thank you.
Yeah. It is,
I look forward
you can call it a chilling area or an hangout. You
to
make your,
underworld.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
Or you can go and take a break and
We'll tap into child.
then decide which game you would like to play next while you're still inside of the game.
Is while still in the game. I'm thinking about afterlife. So this, I know that's not a
Afterlife
thing, but
is still in the game.
it's still in the game.
Right?
So people used to say, stop telling people to go into the light because they need to take a minute to like regroup and figure out what they need to do. Can you talk about that?
Well, yo, Death play too much. He's like wanting to Kung Fu Panda the underworld about this thing, and the underworld is like, nigga, chill out. All right. Hmm.
Hmm.
And then the fairies. I heard them coming through too. This is such a party. All right. They're telling me this is going to happen so much. I'm really learning in real time how to be fully online with all of these aspects instead of compartmentalizing them, like instead of when I'm just channeling one, having them still all there, if that makes sense. Usually, if I'm channeling a certain fundamental, like it's just that I'm not, like, and so now it's like everybody's here. And it's like you still have to be able to be a clear channel for like all this
Everybody.
chaos going on in here right now.
And don't forget.
So are the fairies. And of course, we will always win. Yes, we would like to lighten this up a little bit, and we were going to have so much fun. Water will be here soon. But we would like to have so much fun with this because the underworld is a very important discussion. Okay. And so there are many of you who come in and you come out, and this is your space. This is your space to go and you hang out and you decide, where would I like to go? You know? And so what happens is when you decide to when you follow the light, then you will go into another reality, a space where you are familiar. Let's say this, that you are very familiar with, you know, everyone there. Hi, how are you doing? Yes. It is the known. It is the data that you have collected. It is where you are most comfortable with. Yes. And so when you stay in the darkness, so to speak, then this becomes more random. This is more of, let's say, your soul's choosing 100%. When you are going into the light, there is still the fractal piece of your human self that is still doing the traveling. You are very when you are going to the light, you have still bought this mentality with you, if this makes sense. So it is, we will give you the example. It is the same when you are playing with your mushroom. The feeling of resistance that you are feeling is because you are wanting to bring all of you with you, and it is very uncomfortable as soon as you release and let go and realize that the major part of you, the most interesting part of you, the best part of you is ready to go and travel. Oh, have so much fun traveling. Do, 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 do. Yes. And so this would be like going into the light. This is what you know. This is what you are very comfortable with. And so you are making decisions still with a lot of the fractal piece of yourself that is human. You understand? This is when you step into the darkness, it is your non physical side, it is your spiritual side, it is your cellular side that is making the decision for you. And so it still feels like the unknown. It is very similar to your human experiences here, yes, where you feel like you are in control, where you don't like to just know your desires and that you desire them and not worry about the next steps to take, just knowing that you will be guided to the next steps to take. Yes. So when you have the idea, where does it come from? It comes from your higher self, the self of you that's projecting itself into the game. Okay. So when you trust this, you come to the darkness and you have so much fun. You're excited for the new adventure. Yes, because your soul is at the lead. It will pick the proper theme for you. When you step into the light, it is simply familiar faces or family. Or maybe it would be instead of being your brother, this time he will be your husband. You understand?
So in the case of near death experiences, is that when people are going into the light, or
Yeah,
can you
most
have
of
near
the
death
time you
experiences
are,
before?
yes, you are coming back to where all of your attachments are. Your human self is very attached. Your ego is very attached to what it knows in this light realm. It is saying, oh no, I'm going to die. Don't let me die. Go to the light. I know all of that data. That's why it's the light. You know the data.
Okay. So do people sometimes have near death experience, quote unquote, in the going to the underworld or some other place that's away from the light?
Oh, yes, definitely. And this is the most fun because now you let the dice roll. And so you can come in and you can be a lizard. And then you can, in the middle of your experience, you can shape shift into a human. You can shape shift into a cat. You have more conscious awareness. You have more awareness when you come in to the dark. If this makes sense to you, you have more spiritual awareness when you come into the dark. When you go into the light, you have more human awareness. We will say it like this. Hmm? You
So the
understand?
mushroom, if I could compare two plants, the mushroom versus ayahuasca, for example, the mushroom is considered to be more dark. If that's the case, is the mushroom dark and ayahuasca is the sun and the mushroom is the moon, or is it not that simple?
No, we understand where you are going with the example, but for Minty, it is simply about your individual experience, and um, we will say this in human terms, and the chemical makeup of your bodies with what kind of experience you are going to have, because some people can take the mushrooms and they have a great reverence, a great belief for the mushrooms. Oh, they love the mushrooms and they will have a much deeper experience than those that have taken the ayahuasca and vice versa. And then some will have more of a prolific experience with the told medicines. Yes. And some will take the ayahuasca and not have such a profound experience as they did with the told medicine. It is strictly up to the individual. But what we will say is that the mushroom, you will have a very prolific experience with should you go into the higher doses, just because of the energy that your consciousness, your human selves have put into the mushrooms. It is not such a deep experience as, okay, I'm sorry, I'm intervening. I'm intervening. Okay. All right. Let me just come all the way in. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say, I need to stop because I want everybody to get what they're saying. Right. So,
Okay.
like, so like, what our consciousness, what, so it's like feeding certain things. Your experiences feed certain things. Right. So, like, with the mushrooms, it is a more, let's say, ancient form of medicine than most, but
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that we have taken mushrooms, like people party on mushrooms, like
Yeah.
party really hard. And then with
Mm-hmm.
ayahuasca, it's been really kept super ritualistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And out in nature and da 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 da. So people tend to have a deeper experience with it as far as like in their inner universe, like with the traumas and all of the things that they have been through, where with the mushroom, like say you have, let's just use this for example, like say you've had a drug problem, because the mushrooms are an addiction problem, so because of people partying and, using it for play, that might be what you would use or microdose with to assist you with getting off of the addiction of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you've dealt with molestation or physical abuse, you would deal with more like ayahuasca. You know what I'm saying? Or bufo, because these medicines have been used in a very ritualistic space. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Especially, and it's really associated, like you said, culturally, and without having the proper information. I see why you stopped it. Without having the proper information, is getting lumped in with all of the so-called recreational drugs and not seen as medicine, and it's not used in a ritualistic way, like as you say.
Yeah,
That
most.
should be your like set and setting is really important when you're dealing with the mushroom. Darkness is ideal. Setting the right intention, just like with any ritual, all that is extremely important for the application. Otherwise, you kind of miss the point.
Yeah. And two people have to remember, like, especially now when I came out, it's like kind of like type of situation. But we have to understand too that these are like, how do you, the best way to describe is like you're a multi-dimensional being, right? And so the aspect of you that I'm talking to is your human self, which is not multi-dimensional. It is
Right.
it is this avatar for you to play in this reality, in this dimension. And so when
Mm-hmm.
you get into your inner universe, right, your aspects, this is your multidimensional self. And so it's not as emotional, it's not as, compassionate, empathetic, all the human things. You know what I mean? So even though we love the fairies and they're so much fun, they, like they have told you to, yeah, go jump off the cliff and go. But they have also told you, if you're sick of being here and tired of playing the game, go jump off the cliff.
Also, jump up a
You know, wouldn't necessarily
bit.
say that. So there are some spaces where I am in a split of a second, like, come on, how can, like pull from my human feelings, you know what I mean? And like, can we say this a little better? Or I don't like the way that y'all saying that, you know. But I really try to intervene as less as possible, so y'all can get it raw. But in that space, I really felt that it was very important. You have 7 minutes. Is that what you're
About
saying?
around there,
Okay.
around there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um. So I just wanted to keep that, for y'all to keep that in mind. Like, April, don't be fucking at the shit like that. But I just felt that the medicines are very important, and what the fuck the fairies was about to say.
Oh.
Yeah, because in their minds, like humans
Higher,
have,
about higher doses.
yeah,
And that means like as opposed to microdosing or what is it, 3, 5, 7? Because that was our protocol.
I
We
heard 10.
just
Like, just go.
yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
because what they were about to get into is getting past the point where your body can where your body
Resist.
can even fight. You know what I mean?
What that's what Baba Kalindi said. He's like, you're not gonna have any problem, playing around, going back and forth if you do 21. You go on whether you want to go or not. And
That's what they're saying for most.
it's up
Like, go
to
ahead and do the 10. Okay. Let's really
you.
play ball.
Honestly, I played around with 10, 14, and so on. And I was holding on for literally holding on for dear life. Like, I'm not going. Like, why are you here? Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I heard start with 10. That's why I was like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, people. Hold on.
Mhm. Yeah, I see why you would stop it there. Like playing around with these microdoses. That's fair.
So, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Cause I'll still hear water. Like, we'll come in next time. But I think you really want to talk to water, right?
The water is there.
You want to talk to water?
I guess if we're closing it out, what better way to finish? We were talking about the river mommy.
Because she has a lot to say. That's why it's like.
Mm. Or what's Papa Legba talking about?
Don't do that. We have come here to play. We're going to have a very interesting time inside of this vessel. She pretends as if she is fun, but she's very serious on the inside.
So can you tell me about the hot kettle?
We love to play this game with you because you are very unsure of us, of you. And we have to make it very clear with the signs and symbols that are outside of you that we are inside of you and that you are indeed living in a simulation. And so there will be a lot of abnormality happening in your simulation, just as a reminder.
I appreciate
You don't fully grasp to the extent that you are in a simulation. Let's say that again.
that.
Be many things altering right before your eyes. You are right now going through a training process. This is a special training for you, one that you must be ready for because you are Jeff. Having a living human experience. How fun. Things are about to get this vessel likes interesting. Keep paying attention to the birds and the animals around you. And your child and the cat sleeping. That was us. Did you like that? Ah.
Okay. Can I ask a specific question about the motion of the birds? What was this circling?
Exactly what you thought. The vortex opening up for you. It is now that time in your life. Everything that you want is going to fall literally from the sky. The dead birds, they fall from the sky. All that you are desiring is sitting in your vortex, waiting on you, waiting on your vibration. And the more and more you have fun, you giggle with us. We have many jokes. We laugh all day. We need you to permeate this vibration of laughter all through your body. Have a lot more fun with us. You ask if you are speaking with us. You don't need to ask. You are. We are the thoughts in your mind. We are what you are calling your intuition. The thoughts that you have, it is us. It is always us. It's always been us. The you that you think you are in this human suit. It's us. We drew it up for you in a hologram and projected it here.
The laughter is ominous. I mean, it's charmingly ominous. I like the laughter. The
You
deep
want it to be contagious.
belly. It's infectious.
Yes. Do you feel it? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I very much enjoy it. Okay. What should more people know about death?
We are coming to a theater near you soon. Get it? Theater near you. Your projection. Everyone meets us. We greet you all. Coming to a theater near you. That's what we want you to know. Soon.
Okay. That I think people sense that, or maybe they don't. Are we in denial
Very
that it
much
just comes
so.
to people?
Very
It's
much
coming to other people, not
so.
us.
For when the other non-physical, what you were considering non-physical, because you make many travels at night with your wings. Many mistake you for the tooth fairy. But when you come to them to greet them, they are in such denial. Oh, it can't be. Oh, and you wake them up. Let's go. And then you soar. It's very
Is
hilarious that your human self doesn't like the mushrooms because this is the journey that you take people on all the time.
so
When you
is this
think
why I
you're
don't remember?
resting, you're not.
Because I don't remember my dreams half it's most of the time.
Because
That's
you're
why.
traveling, you're collecting the dead and taking them home to the
So when I go,
underworld.
so I'm working. I have an entire job
You're
when I'm
always working, and you have those that work for you. It was very entertaining to this vessel that your death angel. She's your employee. That would be your first interview. You're always working.
always working. Well, it was nice sitting down and talking with you today at this part of the day.
I'm so hot. He's such an asshole. But I did find that hilarious. I was like, yo, she works for her. She works for death. And they're doing the show together. And she's the one asking her questions. We did think that was fucking hilarious. uh, but we got some words for her too, man. She needs to stop saying that she doesn't know. She knows, man. Stop saying you don't know. Because it keeps her in a space of really feeling like she doesn't know. The people like the death angel. It's very similar to the death fairy, but not really. You know what I mean?
Angel.
Yeah, it's so hard to describe because you're the final, but it's like she kind of how they just described you kind of, her presence is just there to help those who are in shock, what the fuck's going on,
Mm-hmm.
They're
Did
like,
you ever catch this series in the early 2000s, Dead Like Me?
dead like
About
me.
the people who would just hang out right before a thing was about to happen and then just tap somebody on the shoulder, pull them out so that they can avoid the suffering part.
Oh, that's so cool. But
Yeah, the
yeah,
main character
that's
was
kind
getting
of what
ready to
she
hit
does.
by a toilet seat from coming from an airplane crash. And they're like, hey, come over here for a second.
Of course, you would be watching it.
Such a cool show.
Of course, you
Dad
would
like
be
me.
lit.
It's streaming somewhere.
Of course, you would be lit. I have to write that down. That sounds hilarious. He's cracking it. Oh my God. Dead like me. Dead like me.
The guy who played Inigo Montoya on The Princess Bride, which I'm too young to remember. He was in it. Manny something. He was in it. Very
Yeah, I have
entertaining.
to check that out. Okay, so we still did talk about Mommy Wata, but we will get into that. We did attack. We did attack.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that was interesting.
if you have
Um,
questions, but we kind of just really want to let people know that that's the history, like that's one of these so-called original dark mothers. Another form of Lilith. Yeah,
uh,
that's what we
so
call
many minutes everywhere. By the way, I've got one set of cards. I got the tarot. Do
it.
you have two sets of cards?
I do. I just haven't published the second one yet. The second one is the Oracle deck that are based off of the shirts. So
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't published those yet.
Okay, I want those. So I know
So
you
yeah.
got stuff on. Waiting
No, I
patiently.
mean like the work on them is already done. I just need to go send them out to be printed, But that shit, like I buy like like with the tarot to make sure that, I don't, and then to get for it to be cost efficient. You know what I'm saying? Like I spend about $400. I
Mhm.
buy them in bulk,
Mhm.
you know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Let's
so
see.
don't forget to donate. You know what I mean?
To
Donate
write.
our readings, all of that, because yeah, that's what I'm waiting on that lump sum, so that yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're done. They're ready. Um, and I'm actually glad that you brought that up because I have been waiting on that lump sum that I forgot to even just do the prototype so that I can start showing them, you know. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Prototype. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's already designed.
Yeah, they're
I
already
was,
designed.
it's already designed. Okay.
They're already designed and done. So I have
Remember when I said,
everything printed on the card. So the reverse meaning, the upright meaning, like it's a real oracle deck, and y'all know about me in the books, honey. So it's all on the card
you can do reverse and upright? So both meanings are printed
or
on there.
on the
So
card.
there's no book necessary. That's cool.
They're
Trying to get away from
fun.
books. Hmm.
Yeah, and so
I'm
speaking of
doing
books,
Mr. Rogers.
even though I am putting one together, for the fairy tarot, we are doing a workshop on tarot cards. So for those that want to further educate themselves on tarot cards, remember that I definitely intuited all of the characters of the original fairy tarot. Okay. The official fairy tarot. And so anyway, I so all of the characters still possess the same energy. Okay. But we would like for everyone to take their imagination a step forward. It would go totally against what I am teaching if I had to give you the mystical, magical meaning of them too. You know what I mean? This is about your intuition and your inner knowing. But
Right.
I am setting up again a template for everybody. And so we are doing a tarot workshop. Okay. So just wanted to put that out there. So y'all book y'all readings. Go over there and see Mama T. All right. Oh, we gotta put your new show under there on there.
Oh yeah. Um, I'll send so it'll be in the description.
The
But
description. Okay. Because she has a death show now. So if y'all ain't heard, sure by this time you've been and heard about it. But and she is
Saka Bosuban,
the death
Sacred
fairy.
Conversations.
Sacred Conversations. Y'all see that? It's in her background. Okay. In the background. But
Okay.
it'll also be in the description part. All right. And y'all going over there as she is having, let's talk about death, baby. Let's talk about
You and me. Well, I don't have any more words to it, but yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So joyous.
All right. So we love y'all so much. Thank y'all for hanging out with us today. Peace, love, and bliss. Peace, peace, peace. Through your heart, boo. Don't forget, through your heart. And where's my theme song at, man? Okay, I'm done.
Time for a theme song.